Look, I know you don't know what's going on. I don't know either. There's a lot of stuff that's happening in the world. And the thing is, we are not as safe as we think we are. See, I know I'm sounding crazy, but I have been going down a lot of the conspiracy theory shit. And I know this is like some weird people shit, and it's like, oh, what is this guy doing? He's such a creep. They're controlling everything. The thing is that all these elite people, these A-list, B-list celebrities, they were normal people at some point, surely. But all of them have to sell their souls at some point to get the reach they have, right? You can't just be one person and get to the reach of millions or billions. You have to have a group of people who already have done it with multiple others. And at some point, that group stops becoming a group and more of a cult. You know, we've shunned Kanye West. I'm not including myself in that, okay? I've always loved Kanye West. But I recently saw this post, and I did my research, and basically all these big companies, 20th Century Fox, all these productions houses and stuff, Pixar, CNN, ABC News, whatever it is, all of them are majorly controlled by a specific group of people. What is that group of people? It's well, let me just say this. It's when you take fruits and you blend them up and you drink the liquid. Now, what that liquid's called? That's the people, right? And the thing is, these guys are controlling everything. In fact, they have controlled it so much to the point where healthcare for Americans is majorly about erasing the symptoms rather than the main cause. And they've done it perfectly. They have the most obesity rates and all that stuff. And the main thing is, all of this shit, which sounds completely unrelated, which is like the healthcare system in America, affects wars over here as well. It affects wars in India. It affects everything. Because, America is just out allying everyone. And since everyone's allies with America, everyone's allies with Israel. And you know what those guys are doing? Thing is, weird stuff happens all over the world, and we are kept unknowing. We are kept away from it. Because the best way to keep someone from escaping a prison is to make them believe it is a paradise. And they've done this very, very amazingly. We are just, we work for them, right? Look at your parents. Go to work, come back, glued to the phone, glued to the TV, sleep, go back to work, live a mediocre life where you can barely pay your own bills, but your taxes are just going to people and you have no idea what's happening with your taxes, because it seems impossible to display so much data of how much money is flowing and where it's all going. It's very inconvenient to do so evidently it just doesn't happen. You have no idea where your hard-earned money is going. And it's basically just you building your own prison, while the elites, the orange dash, enjoy. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the background. Just because it isn't available on the internet doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Think about this. There's so much creepy stuff, so much gore videos, so much cartel stuff, so much conspiracy theories on the internet, which Most of them aren't even theories. There's so much of that stuff on the internet. Imagine how much stuff there actually is, because the stuff that lands on the internet is because of whistleblowers. It's because of the slightly good people that exist between these groups, among these groups, that actually be like, this is massively wrong, I need to put this out on the internet for the people to see, I need the people to know. And we don't know what percentage of these people are whistleblowers. It could be 10%, it could be 1. What if all the bad stuff, all these theories, oh, the Titanic was just not supposed to sink, but it's still there, like, oh, 9/11, oh, dumbassery, like building 7 falls for no reason. And you'll think, why is this Indian kid so concerned about what was going on over there? It's because it affects my life as well. Right? Look at the shit people eat. Right? In India, there's such a crowd for 20 rupee chips, 20 rupee bottles of whatever the hell Sting is. And people consume this stuff and, oh no, I got health problems, kidney stones, all that dumbass bullshit. And the thing is, right, we are just too limited. And that's why here's what should happen for you to break free from whatever this stupidity is. It doesn't involve influencing the masses, right? Just forget it, because they've done a really good job, and a revolution with means to make the world a better place would mean a revolution of peace, which you can't really go ahead with rage and momentum, because then that's kind of contradictory and people aren't gonna follow through with it. Thing is, the best way to escape this stuff is to just buy land in some shitty ass, less populated part of the world and just set up shop there, set up a house, set up a farm, solar energy maybe, whatever it is. After just getting your shit right, after getting your money together, just live normally. Live eating your own stuff, which isn't poisoned, because the government does poison our food, right? Pasteurizing milk does not let lactose intolerant people go through with it, right? It just lacks the stupid shit that's supposed to be good for you. So pasteurizing basically ruins the quality of the milk. It keeps people from getting the essential nutrients they need from the milk, but people still do it because it needs to stay good, and milk will go bad if you don't pasteurize it. What if it has germs and shit? Well, guess what, stupid idiots, you drank milk from your mothers when you were kids. What do you think, a cow is gonna have some sort of a stupid shitty ass germ virus thing inside it? If it's just raised normally in a farm without being injected to make kids in order to promote lactation, that stuff is so dumb. And they basically create our own problems to us, and they sell the solutions to the consequences of the problems, but not the problems themselves. So yeah, that's what's required. Because if you want to live out of their control, you can't dream of controlling the rest of the world. You just can't. That's not gonna happen, because they've been doing it for hundreds of years. And the funny thing is, right, I'm still gonna live by the way they want me to live up until a certain point where I have enough money to actually go do my own thing. and I have to pay their taxes. I have to pay them in order to live. I have to serve them in order to make a living. I have to play by their rules because they've created something that looks like a paradise, that feels like a paradise. And when it looks like it and it feels like it, of course I'm gonna think it is. That's what consumerism is, that's what capitalism is for. It's dumb. It's selfish, but it's genius. And just stay away from scrolling, stay away from all this movie watching, all this music listening, because it's hard to know whether they're affiliated with these elite people. And also, the real thing is to keep your loved ones away from it as well. You don't want to end up wanting something that they want you to want as per their convenience, because that's just not free will, but they make you think like it is. If it was truly all about free will, you could actually do whatever you wanted. You wouldn't have to climb some stupid corporate ladder to reach a point where anyone can reach by just buying crypto or some shit and just being rich, like just getting rich overnight. It makes no sense, but it works. And it's still going to work on you up to a certain point. It's just that you need to get out of this so that your kids don't have to deal with it. I have to get out of the cities of this dog shit system, which isn't really dog shit, it's genius, but it's dog shit for me, and it's gonna be dog shit for my kids, for my people. And the only safe thing to do is probably to go set up a farm and just live off of my own resources, have some chickens, have them lay eggs and stuff. But I don't think it's the sane thing to do, according to the standards that have been already set up in this world by people that died a long time ago but are still being maintained because he told me I should do this because these are the reasons and this is good, so I'll keep doing it, but I'll never question the reasoning again. My kids will never question it because I don't even know the reasoning, so if they even question it, they have no idea what's going on, and it just falls down, where someone's shitty ideology backed by some weird ass evidence just goes down and becomes someone's reality. And you need to have thoughts of your own. You can't just keep scrolling. You can't just keep consuming content and basing your opinions and ideologies off of that. You need to believe in your heart. You need to have thoughts of your own. Have your own mind. When was the last time you actually came up with an idea that wasn't like copied or just heavily referenced or heavily influenced by something else? When was the last time you actually did something unique? When was the last time you actually had a unique experience? When was the last time you actually felt like you were living instead of just feeling like you're living? Because they'll use your hormones, they'll put all this shit on your sunscreen and your food and all this stuff. They'll manipulate you and it's gonna be shit. Of course it is. But I don't want you to live like shit, even though it sounds amazing. Is it? Because essentially they're controlling you. And if you're satisfied with that, then, sure. If you're not, just try to get out as soon as possible. Because you don't want your people to experience this and this as well. This is the equivalent of hell on earth. And we're gonna get through this. And we'll do it with a smile. Good night.